Hey y'all, Billy Thomas here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at doing unions in SQL Server. Let's get to work. Before we get into looking at SQL, I want to make sure we understand what a union is. A union simply takes two data sets and combines them, and you have to follow the rules. And there's a couple rules that are important. Number one is both data sets have to have the same number of columns. And the second rule is the columns have to be the same data type. So column 1 has to be the same data type in both data sets, column 2, so on and so forth. We're going to use a couple of very simple data sets to illustrate unions. And actually, they're going to come from two separate databases, even just to kind of mix things up a little bit here. Let me show you the first one. It's just a simple select from a table in Data Factory called Customer. We're selecting three fields, name, city, state. If I hit execute, I get 4 rows, 3 columns. Now, the next data set actually comes from a view, and it's a bit of a complex view. Let me show you. If I come in here and look at this view, we've got customer, person, address, we've got state, province, person. All these tables, we've got a concatenated field of first name and last name to make up name. But at the end of the day, when we run the select statement that I've prepared, which is select name, city, state, province from, and this is the other database, AdventureWorks, and then customer name, city, state, which is the name of the view. So when I execute that, it ends up looking an awful lot like our first select statement, just different number of rows. Let me execute both of them so we can look at the different number of rows. So if I just hit F5 to execute, the first data set is 4 rows, and you can see that down here in the row column. The second data set is actually 4404, so 4,404 rows. Now, the only way to take the 4,404 and combine it with the 4 is to use a union. And you're going to be really excited about how easy this is. If I just type the word union in between these two select statements, you're going to see a combined data set. And then if you look at the number of rows, it went up by 4 because we have combined the two data sets. Now, let me show you a best practice that I think you should always do and work with the union. I like to add a source field that's sort of hard-coded into each data set so that I know where that record came from when I'm looking at the resulting data set. So let's code that in here. Let's add a field in this first data set, and let's call it, let's say this one's coming from the Data Factory data set, and we're going to call that Z source. All right, which means it's a custom field. I use Z for a custom field, and then source. So a custom field called source. Now, if I execute this right now, I get an error because I've just made a mismatch. I've broken one of the rules, which is to have the same number of fields in both data sets. Let's go add this field to the second data set. And in here, we're going to say, this one is coming from AdventureWorks, and we're going to call that Z-source. Now, if I run it, I should get a good positive result. But do you see I call it the secret sauce over here? This Z-source field now has the source that the data set came from. So these 4 records, records 1 through 4 came from Data Factory, and all the rest, 4,404, came from AdventureWorks. Listen, it's that easy. Just remember the 2 rules. Rule number 1, same number of columns. Rule number 2, it's got to be the same data type. You do that, you'll be doing unions in no time at all. Hey, I hope this video has been helpful to you. And if it has, will you please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and have yourself a great day.